Hi everyone. So today I want to talk about why the 12 steps are harmful, and this is an important topic. You're gonna have to excuse the sun; it's just always there when I do these morning videos. So I'm on my way to work, and we did a podcast, and it ended up this past week as being one of the most popular podcasts that we've done. And it's where Michelle and I debunk and go through each one of the 12 steps and demonstrate why it's mythology, made up, it's packed with lies, mistruths, misconceptions, misinformation, and that it was Bill Wilson's fantasy on how he could create a cult. And he was very successful at it. AA is one of the most successful, if not the most successful cult in American history in the last 100 years. So we go through that, and people have been commenting on it, and they really like the content because I give context to the history of where the 12 steps came from and why that's harmful. So I'm going to do just a brief piece here to introduce that concept that the 12 steps are harmful and tell you why. And it all surrounds the first step, which is that our lives had become unmanageable and that we're powerless over alcohol and or drugs. And this idea of loss of control, that we lose control, that there are some people that can't stop themselves from using, and they are powerless, and humans are powerless, is not only a bizarre concept, but it's flatly wrong. It's just not true. And the reason for that is because alcohol is a lifeless substance. It is not a thinking, cunning, baffling, and powerful entity like AA says it is. Before every single meeting around the world, when they recite how it works, quote unquote, they say that alcohol is cunning, baffling, and powerful. And when you personify, when you create and you inject life into a substance, you're delving into the mysterious world of a religion. And now I don't have anything against religions. I'm Catholic myself, and I believe in God, but that's my personal belief. But I choose not to believe that alcohol has a mind of its own and that it's cunning and waiting to attack me. I think that that's silly. There was a time when I believed it did have that kind of power, and I believed that I lost control and that I was somehow broken. And I think I've met, I think a lot of people think that. I've met thousands, tens of thousands over the last 31 years that I've been working on this addiction topic. So you're not powerless. That's the point. You're not powerless over alcohol or drugs. People have a preference for heavy use for personal reasons. And this is a concept that's very hard for people to believe when they've been brainwashed with 12-step dogma. So if you believe that alcohol and or drugs create a powerless condition in some people, and that there are a select group of people, a subgroup of people that can't moderate or control themselves, and they're incapable of stopping once they start, if you believe that, you're a victim of the dogma of the first step of Alcoholics Anonymous, the first 12-step group, and you are a victim of Bill Wilson's fantasy, the founder of AA, the co-founder of Alcoholics Anonymous. He made that up in 1939. So 35 to 39. So if you want to know more about this topic, go to the Addiction Solution podcast. And our latest our episode goes into each one of the steps and we debunk it. But here's what's important to know. You're not powerless. There's a much better way to move past a drug problem or a drinking problem. And it doesn't include the 12 steps. And rendering yourself hobbled with this belief that somehow alcohol has power and you don't. You have the power. It's called free will. You can choose. You can move on. And you can act as if this problem is done and over with in your life, and move on with your life and have a fantastic life and never look back. And it's not that hard once you let go of the dogma that's keeping you trapped. So AA is a lie. The premise that it sits upon, and that is that drugs have power and you don't, is absolute nonsense. But if you believe it, it's not nonsense at all. It becomes your religion, and it becomes a debilitating, hobbling disability. I chose not to be hobbled in that way. I used to feel that way, but I moved on. So there's a better way. If you want to know more about debunking AA, we created the official deprogramming guide of the 12 steps, and that's called the Freedom Model. It's a self-help book, and also we teach it over Zoom, and we have a retreat that we've helped people learn the Freedom Model for the last 31 years. So if you want to know more information about that, go to thefreedommodel.org, and you can get the book for free to our podcast listeners and to our viewers on YouTube. It's called The Freedom Model for Addictions, but you can get the book for free at thefreedommodel.org, and then it's a digital version. When you download it at checkout, use coupon code FREEDOM100. That's the word freedom and digits 100, one word, at checkout, and you can download the book. There's also a Freedom Model for the Family, same coupon code, FREEDOM100. If you want more information about our programs, where you can learn it, I can teach it to you, Michelle can teach it to you one-on-one over Zoom, or Danny Wyke, he can teach it to you as well. Then call us at 888-424-2626. That's 888-424-2626. Again, thefreedommodel.org. And we have the St. Jude Retreat, Freedom Model Private Instruction over Zoom, and the book itself. Most people get the book, they read it, and then if they need more help, they go one of those two avenues. So, you don't have to deal with 12 steps anymore. You can move on and also not live in recovery, not go to meetings, not be in endless perpetual therapy. You can move on. 888-424-2626. All right. Looking forward to helping you. Take care.